Right-wingers led by Ben Shapiro and Elon Musk are clearly trying to start race riots here in the United States so that Donald Trump can invoke the Insurrection Act and then send his military, the United States military, onto the streets of this country to forcibly remove us and lock us away for good. Here's what's happening. Ben Shapiro came out this week and encouraged Donald Trump to give a pardon to the totally innocent, he says, Derek Chauvin. Now, Derek Chauvin, of course, is the former police officer who was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison for the murder of George Floyd. He was convicted by a jury in Minnesota. That conviction was upheld upon appeal all the way to the Minnesota Supreme Court, which upheld it. They made a motion for a new trial, which was denied. He is in prison where he belongs. And Ben Shapiro came out this week and said this. If we are issuing pardons, however, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. But when it came to Black Lives Matter, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on the worst footing in my lifetime was, in fact, the railroading of Derek Chauvin and the death of George Floyd. Now, this little cretin is citing that $2 billion number, which, of course, is the very top high end of the estimate of the insurance claims from businesses from that time period. The actual estimate is anywhere between $1 billion and $2 billion, and I don't need to tell you in case you didn't know, there is a gulf of financial difference between $1 billion and $2 billion. So, of course, the dishonest Shapiro is going to go with the very high-end estimate and tell you that that's economic damage instead of being clear that that was actually just the insurance claims. Okay? That was not the economic damage. That was not the price tag. That is how much people submitted in insurance claims in that time period. So, yeah. Let's be a little more honest about all that and a little more, as you say, forthwith with people. Now, the problem is not that Ben Shapiro himself said this. Ben Shapiro is somebody that Donald Trump, I don't think he even pays attention to. On the other hand, though, Elon Musk is somebody that Donald Trump does pay attention to, and Elon Musk echoed this on Twitter, resharing Ben Shapiro's rant, adding, quote, something to think about. So why? Why does that matter? Why would that even come up? Like, who is even thinking, other than George Floyd's family, about Derek Chauvin right now? You know, like, who's actually thinking about this guy? Ben Shapiro, I do think, is a smart person. He is intentionally dishonest, to try to hoodwink his base and make a lot of money, and he does a good job of that, but he's not stupid. And I think Ben Shapiro knows the exact same thing I do. If Derek Chauvin were to be pardoned, it would go beyond mass protest in this country. There would, in fact, be riots this time. I know they call what happened in 2020 riots. Those were not riots. Most of them were peaceful protests. Over 97% of the people that were arrested ended up being released without ever being charged. 95% of the people that ended up being charged had the charges against them dropped. So there were a few agitators out there. Absolutely happens with every single protest, no matter where it is, no matter what it's about. But if Derek Chauvin were pardoned, there would be riots. Rightfully so. And Elon Musk, I believe, knows that as well. So if we end up with riots in the street, or even if we just end up with, protests in every city that are peaceful, this gives Donald Trump an opportunity to invoke the Insurrection Act, send the United States military onto our streets, and round us up and lock us away for good. This, what Ben Shapiro is doing, and what Elon Musk is now pushing, this is a trap. This is how they get what they want. This is how they basically get martial law. This is how they take us out. That is what this is. Now, here's the good news. Most of the charges, the convictions against Chauvin, are actually state charges. So he can't even be pardoned. So maybe Ben Shapiro ought to do a little bit of homework before he and Elon Musk try to start these race riots here in the United States. So the good news is it can't happen the way that these idiots think it could happen. But if Donald Trump does try to pardon the federal charges, that could still lead to issues. So I am begging everyone right now, you got to resist the urge. If it happens, do nothing. If they want you in the streets, then that is a good indication that that is the one place you don't need to be. They will use it as an excuse to round us up and put us all away. So don't give them that opportunity. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.